Okay, today I want to talk a little bit about this article. You may have read some stories about Iceland and what's happened with their economy and the dire straits that most of the people in Iceland are in right now. This is an article from a mainstream media outlet newspaper, so we have to take it a little bit at less than face value and filter through some of the stuff here that may not be relevant. Basically, since their credit crisis has began and their stock market has melted down, inflation has hit 17% and growing. Unemployment, of course, is rising rapidly. The government is forced to ask for a handout from the International Monetary Fund, and I do believe that Russia did give them several billion in aid to help them through this time. It says here in the article that the stock market has sunk into incredible lows there, even lower than our markets here in the States. As of Friday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was off 45% since March 6, 2008. Well, in Iceland, their stock market, which is the ICEX index of Iceland's largest 15 companies, is down by negative 94.5%. So as you can see, not only has it completely collapsed, but basically every company has gone into bankruptcy. Iceland is a population of only 320,000 people approximately. So when we look at that as being a microcosm of what can be expected in countries that are a similar size, or even here in the United States, when you lose over $3 billion of personal wealth in the stock market, divided up by 320,000 people, that's quite a significant loss, and it's something that they may not be able to recover from anytime in the near future. It says here that people are in trauma. A finance professor at the University of Iceland and an advocate for ordinary Icelanders who had stated that the combined $3 billion loss in the country's stock market plunge, people just don't understand what happened. And that's kind of the way that it is here too, where a lot of people don't understand completely what has happened. And by the time you figure out what has happened, it's too late. And not only are jobs lost, but personal wealth is gone. And then we end up with a situation where it gives opportunity for other entities to come in and to buy up assets at pennies on the dollar. And that is what some people are looking forward to. Basically what it says here towards the conclusion of the article is that briefly, street riots in the late January ousted the country's prime minister and are forcing big changes. A new caretaker government led by the world's first openly gay prime minister is promising a welfare administration rather than a free market reform. And that's key to remember, because that is something that I believe is going to be paralleled in other countries. Iceland, once independent and resistant to joining the European Union, is now rushing to become a member. That is bad news, folks, because once the powers that be are able to come in and buy up assets at pennies on the dollar, then they gain control of that country's economy, and then basically the sky's the limit. They can enact their own reforms and control the economy from there out, and all be under the umbrella of one world power, which is what eventually I think will happen, unfortunately, is that there'll be a shared currency, there'll be power in the hands of a very few, somewhat anonymous people. And I think we really need to keep an eye on what's going on in places like Iceland, because it's a sign of what's to come in the coming years in the larger countries.